Hello and welcome back to the third game of this best of three between First Departure and Orange. You're watching the Rapture Gaming League semi-finals for the playoffs. One of these two teams will be going on to the Grand Finals best of five on Sunday up against Mineski to fight for 10,000 Singaporean dollars. And the other team will be going to the third place decider tomorrow up against Myth Trust to see who gets the third place of $2,000 Singaporean dollars. That is. Of course, I'm not by myself. I once again am joined by Kanaz. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
So, we just saw both, I saw an entirely different First Departure than from the first game. Was it completely based on the draft, you think? Or is that, did they have a warm-up game or something?
I don't know, it's hard to say. I think somewhat the draft was easier to execute that game for First Departure. Orange really had more of the impetus on them to get something done in the early game, and First Departure could kind of just wait it out, and as long as they survived, it was going to get pretty okay for them. That being said, they played well also, so they took advantage away from Orange, never really gave them the opportunity to shine that they needed. So I think it's a little both, but First Departure definitely looked better that game, whereas they looked super sloppy that first one.
Yeah, that first one where they also went for an Invoker first pick, I have to say I'm not impressed, but considering that Orange banned out the Invoker in the first banning phase, I guess if they still wanted to have it, it might have been banned out. So in this case, I understand based on the first game, but again, not really a hero that I have the most faith in. I hope that this time they have a bit of a lineup that works better around them, like not picking up a Weaver, because they really need something that can come online early to help that Invoker grow, because Invoker needs quite a bit of time to get those levels up, and something needs to be buying that time, and Weaver is not one of those heroes. We'll see what they go for. In the meantime, Alchemist is picked up for Orange, so I'm expecting that to be a support Alchemist, as they saw it work out brilliantly for First Departure in the first game, and we still have Mirana in the game, so perhaps we're going to see Mirana here too. But otherwise, perhaps they want to also get an OD again, as we saw up against the Invoker in the first game, which worked out for them.
They definitely have a lot of options for what they want to go for here. I think if they want that OD Invoker matchup again, they're probably going to have to pick it up now. I kind of just hope that First Departure learned their lesson from the first game and aren't going to leave the OD in the pool to get picked up and give them that good mid matchup. That being said, First Departure could run Invoker in a different manner this game. Maybe hope that the OD pick comes out and then run a safe lane solo Invoker or something like that.
Yeah, sorry, slightly distracted.
I saw.
Orange goes for a Crystal Maiden still, so I guess we're gonna have to guess which one is gonna be mid in the end. And First Departure has a chance to ban out some of the mids that they don't want to face, like an OD. Rubik removed from the pool as well by Orange this time. I mean, whoa. Wow, my voice is really going well today, liking that one. But we saw Rubik and Visage in the previous game. There could still be a Rubik, a Visage and a Sand King, but all of those have been picked up by Orange so far, so interesting to see what First Departure is going to do with that Visage, because they haven't had it until now. It has always been in the hands of Orange. With the puck removed from the pool, so that's one that Invoker doesn't want to face. I mean, he has that silence, which is very annoying to deal with. We'll see what they end up going for. First Departure is going to be the one to ban and pick a hero now, though, after each other.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we'll see where they're going to go with the Visage. Obviously, it's probably going to be a support hero.
Yeah.
And looking at the side of Orange, it looks like they picked up both of their support heroes. Just kind of a safe assumption that it's going to be a support Alchemist again. Kind of the trend now. It's so unusual at this point to see a carry Alchemist. So we're going to see what's going to go on with that. But Orange haven't given away any of their cores yet, so there's a lot of room for them to sort of change their draft to what First Departure have at the moment. And First Departure kind of just got a ban and guess what they think is happening.
Yeah, Weaver, oh thank god, is banned out. And a Mirana, well, picked up by First Departure, slightly denied to Orange. We saw, of course, Chibix on the Mirana in the previous game. On the farming role, I have to say I was... Like, he had some nice attempts at arrows, and some actually hit, but I felt like it was more Orange getting hit by them than the arrows actually being magnificently well placed. Do you agree?
Yeah, probably. I don't.
Seconds remaining.
I don't know. I'm kind of. I'm not surprised that there's a Mirana pick
5
again
seconds
for first
remaining.
Rapture after
Yeah.
how good it looked last game. There were so many arrows landed by Chibix. It's like surprising.
Reserve time.
Yeah, but
Uh,
is it like, was that just because the arrows, or was it because Orange stood in the arrows? That's the question.
Yeah, I think it is a good question. It felt like a Sharky just was
Yeah.
arrow bait all game
Yeah.
on the Night Stalker, and there were tons of great initiations on the back of those
Dire
arrows.
team pick.
So if they can get that again, it can look pretty good. But it's also worth noting that they don't really have the sun set up yet that they did last game. There were a lot of disables that came out to set up arrows throughout the game.
Oops, I only just noticed that OD was actually the first ban of
Oh
first
yeah,
departure.
it was Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, I just expected to be a Timbersaw. But Timbersaw is still in the pool, by the way. And there's still an offlaner needed for first departure, so that wouldn't be too bad. Darkseer is picked up by Orange already, so they have got themselves an offlaner. They've also got themselves Alchemist Crystal Main. I'm going to assume both of those are going to be supports for the moment. Alchemist could, of course, transition into either a carry or even a solo mid. We've seen that both before. But Alchemist up against an Invoker mid is not really where you want to place him. And I'm actually thinking that perhaps a Gyrocopter would be better as a carry for Orange, as they made it work in the first game. So why not again right now? Windrunner is going to be the hero that first Sparta goes for their offlane.
Radiant team.
Interesting that Timbersaw was actually first...
Ranger.
Windranger, sorry. But Timbersaw was actually a first ban in the first 2 games, I believe, and now just ignored.
It's a little surprising that they would kind of just completely ignore it, but maybe it's not going with exactly what they want to be doing. Particularly first departure, if they're going to pick up the Invoker first. Looks like that's probably who their mid lane hero is going to be. Morphling pick. That's not something I would have guessed.
No, definitely not. And we haven't seen him in quite some time. But I would actually, like, if we're going Morphling, and if we land, like we take a step back in time, for my opinion. If we pick up a Morphling, we take a step back in time, and when that happened, Morphling and Crystal Main dual laning up against an Invoker hasn't been unusual, so perhaps we're gonna see something like that.
Reserve time.
And of
10
course,
seconds
so far,
remaining.
First Departure's got 3 heroes that can be considered quite squishy. Invoker maybe less so, and maybe Visage, of course, because of Gravekeeper's Cloak. Pretty decent and resistant for Shotgun Morphling as well, but Morphling Shotgun up against Membrana and Windranger? Yeah, those are gonna die.
If they want to go the shotgun build, it could definitely work here. Mirana is also not particularly tanky. All these heroes are easy to kill except for Visage. Shotgun's pretty much terrible against Visage, since it relies on just a couple big bursts of damage all at once. And yeah, like you said, Gravekeeper's Cloak is going to make it kind of look comical if he ever really goes on Visage that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
5
Visage
seconds
isn't really
remaining.
fast most of the time, and Morphling can just kind of close the distance, give him some right clicks to remove the
seconds
Gravekeeper's
reserve
Cloak
time.
really easily.
Ooh! Earthshaker, I like that.
Radiant team
That means we're gonna Windrunner, like we're taking more steps back in time. Windranger, Windranger, Earthshaker lanes. Good old times.
That's a real old Windrunner Earthshaker lanes.
Yep. I guess it's a bit like modernized, if that's a word, because you can use block creep cams and make like go ancients with them, or at least deny them to ancients. So they have got a kind of an
10
extra
seconds
dimension in there.
remaining.
But it's really nice. I mean, if you're gonna be up against Morphling, you're
5
not gonna be able to
seconds
stop him from farming all that much. So that's gonna be something to worry about. But it is gonna be giving Windranger quite a bit of at least farm and levels as well.
5
Should be at least be
seconds
doable.
remaining.
Alchemist and Crystal Main will have to worry about the Earthshaker. Oh, Pugna. That will be our mid versus the Invoker. And Pugna, such a strong hero against the Invoker as well. Here comes the ward.
Yeah, we'll see how it ends up working out for the Pugna. It does give them some pushing power. Obviously, Nether Blast is just real good at killing towers nowadays. But the ward is also pretty effective against Invoker. A lot of his spells cost tons of mana. And if you could just drop a ward down and he tries to initiate with some teamfight spells, or even if he goes a more fire build and tries to use Sunstrikes. Sunstrike costs a ton of mana. He can take a lot of incidental damage from that ward.
Yeah, it's going to be really annoying, and I think it's going to be up to Windranger and Mirana to constantly pick off those wards. Maybe Invoker himself can do it, of course, as well, but it's going to be one thing that they have to constantly keep their eye out for. They just can't fight if that ward is up.
5 seconds remaining.
Basically what it's going to come down to. Also, of course, it's very strong up against Earthshaker, because if Earthshaker gets farm, and we're going to assume that at some point he will get farm, And if he gets that, he'll be having himself, he'll be wanting to blink and Echo Slam. But you can't actually do that when there's a ward up, because it will interrupt your blink before you actually blink. Right? Am I saying that? Am I saying weird stuff here?
With Blink Dagger
You can't, yeah.
and the ward,
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure you can still blink.
Okay. Then I'm wrong
Because
with
it
that
does
one.
the damage as you blink. It's different for different things. I think Blink Dagger is one that you can still do.
Okay. Well, that's at
If I
least
remember
something
correctly.
then.
It's been a while since I tried that, though, I guess.
We'll probably get flamed by the chats, who of course know it better than we do.
Yeah,
then we'll
there's
find
always
out.
someone that's going to know exactly how it works because they've hit the interaction. But Dota's a game of so many interactions that sometimes you're not certain about one.
Mm-hmm.
And Pugna's just starting to become popular again, so we're slowly going to see all the things, because Ward is so weird with how it does the damage. Sometimes it's right before the spell goes off, sometimes it's right after the spell goes off.
Now let's take a look at who is playing what, as we have got Ling this time on the Crystal Maiden. He'll be on the bottom lane supporting Sharky, that is. Sharky will be playing the Morphling here on the safe lane. He was also supported by Ice, who's playing support Alchemist. 9 is Ice, and you know Ice, of course, as he was formerly of Titan, and he has been standing in for Orange today, as we have an instant smoke from those two, so they'll see if they can rotate middle and take care of the Invoker, probably. We've got ourselves, last but not least, Winter playing the Darkseer, and he'll be on the Suicide lane, hard lane, on the top lane for them. And of course Yamate for Pugna. Oops.
Oh yeah, of course. In the mid lane, we were getting distracted because everyone was moving through the mid lane.
Yep.
For first departure, though, on the Dire, we're going to have Chibix taking up the Mirana once again in the safe lane farming. It looks like he's going to be supported by Kai.
Wait a second. The smoke gank comes in. Let's see if they can make it happen. They have a frostbite as well. That's going to be a kill. Whoop. First blood for the Crystal Maiden. Boom.
First blood, and it's already ice.
That's not a good start for first departure. Invoker is one of their key heroes for this game, I think. They don't really have the great initiation they did in the last game until some of these heroes maybe get Blink Dagger. So Invoker needs to have those teamfight abilities, and he doesn't if he's dying this early.
Yeah, he needs that levels. Sorry, I interrupted you with that.
No, yeah, because stuff was going on. So Kai, top lane, Visage supporting Chibix. Mid lane is going to be Invoker, being played by Midderfeed again. And bottom lane is going to be also a dual lane. We're going to have Lubby on the Earthshaker supporting the Wind Ranger played by Hana.
Ooh, look at that hair.
It's really weird.
It's weird from, like, it's nice if you look at the portrait, but it's weird if you look at her head.
Yeah, the model's weird, but if you look at the portrait, it looks nice. I think it's the, like, really long ponytail.
It is. It is. You see it bouncing around when she runs. Well, I'm thinking on the top lane, Chibix will be fine. Nobody should die. Winter shouldn't die either, though, so he'll be able to get the harassment going with the Iron Shells, and you know, he'll be able to get those last hits and the levels as well. Mid lane is going to be the most worrisome here, as they don't necessarily need to win the lane, but they can't lose it. It's just not lose it. That's mandatory. If they lose this mid lane, they're going to be so far behind. And I'm not sure if Mirana can pull that trade again, because she will be the hero to be looked at should things go wrong mid. She's going to be the one to carry things through until Invoker can pull his own weight. Or perhaps Wind Ranger can get some nice brilliant shackles going in the end, but also she is not expected to win her lane. She's in the Suicide lane. Oh, blasts. Well, I guess so far, Invoker's not doing too bad. 7 for 0 for Pelozon. Well, Yamate is sitting on 12 for 4, so Yamate is still ahead, but yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, they're just kind of trading farm at the moment. A little bit of advantage for Yamate is not really surprising in this mid lane, considering that there was that death, the early pickup on Pelozon. So, you know, he's doing pretty well considering, but he's an Exort Invoker, so he should have kind of an advantage going for farm. He's taking a lot of damage from Yamate here, though.
Oh man, one blast might do the job, but he's already on the edge. That has been like, Yamate has been blasting away at the Crepify targets and not hitting them for a couple of times now. I feel like if that was a hit, that would have been a kill.
Yeah, he's having a lot of trouble actually getting these hits off on Invoker, which is somewhat surprising, but I guess Invoker does have boots already, so maybe that's just the issue.
Yeah, that definitely helps, and you kind of have to get those boots so early if you are up against the Pugna. There's no other way. We do have a rotation, perhaps. Ling, and he gets scouted out. The pings come out. They know where he is. He's not going to be a surprise issue. That's awkward. Crystal Maiden bought a courier. There we go. She sold it, realizing that she should have gotten the flying courier rather than a walking courier. Alchemist in the meantime, getting a stun up on the Wind Ranger. But can't go in on it. This is just harassment. Trying to force Hannah away from this Morphling. Morphling, by the way, is not doing as well as he should be doing. He is 9 for 6. Oh, Alchemist going again, but 15 for 4 on this Wind Ranger. That's a big difference. That shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't.
Well, it's, I think, mostly because Lubby is blocking and pulling to the Ancients, so not all the creeps are actually going to the Morphling.
That is true. That helps him out a lot. Lubby is actually only level 2, but denying is more important here than getting the experience and farm. So yeah, you're right. This is a big deal. Very big deal, actually. Oh, Lubby. Careful there. Oh. Yep, another wave denied. Nice. And quite some gold goes to the Earthshaker for that as well. Maybe not getting that experience, but the gold is still nice. Oh. Winter might be in some trouble. Soul Assumption comes in as well. That might be our first blood right there. There it is, indeed. Was our second blood. Because Invoker, of course, already died. And he died again. Because Crystal Maiden came back into the middle lane with the ward being there. Invoker couldn't get himself away. So 2 kills happening at the same time, but 1 for 1. And overall, I think a better kill for Orange as they got themselves the Invoker again. Who is kind of behind right now. Yamate sitting on 18 to 8. Invoker not doing that bad on 18 to 6, but if he keeps dying, then it is bad, and he dies again! Sunstrike comes out, still Invoker gets a return kill. That's nice. But nonetheless,
he got the kill first.
Yeah.
So he got the experience for that, and if he was dead anyways, made the best of it. But he also got the kill on Crystal Maiden. It wasn't a kill on Yamata. If it had been on the Pugna, it would have been a much bigger deal. Like, that's actually kind of a win for Invoker. But the way it works out now, he gives up the tower, Pugna's still alive, and he's just continuing to die. And as such a pivotal hero for the lineup of First Departure, it really can't continue to happen.
Well, they can't give this Pugna space. He'll just blast towers away, and there will be such a big advantage for Orange by the time the First Departure is actually ready to fight, that they won't be able to come back from it. So they have to do something against him, either gank him repeatedly or take their own towers to get some map control back, but they don't really have that high pushing hero, so that's gonna be tricky. Are you still like, would it be best for Chibix to start rotating, or what would you suggest for them to do right now? Whoa, this courier has laser eyes. Look at this. Ooh.
Yeah, I saw when he was walking around earlier with the laser eyes. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I think Chibix needs to do what he's doing.
Perhaps do what he's doing indeed. The Sunstrike will miss, and that will be a blessing right there. He can't go casting around more spells. And it looks like Yamate will just be able to teleport himself out. That ward, so scary.
Chibix killed one turn in the top lane while we're talking about that.
Oop.
I think Chibix is doing a great job up here. He's gotten that kill now. It was just completely a solo kill. He was around for the winter kill earlier, and he's currently leading in terms of CS. So
okay, frostbitten. Nice Fisher though, but the stun will still come out. We'll get the kill. So kill going the way of Orange once again, and they will be able to get the ward now as well, or should be able to. Maybe Windrunner, Sunstrike will miss. Doesn't matter though, the Cold Snap, Crystal Maiden will still drop. That's a kill going the way of Invoker, and that means that the counter wards will come out from First Departure as, yeah, go for the sentry first. That's a good job. Oh, careful, another Fisher. Moonlight Shadow will make sure that they can get away from there. Yeah. Oh, hello. Thank you. Do you think Kai's gonna go on Sharky? No. And, well, that was good for First Departure. Could have gone worse, could have gone better for either side. Orange just didn't have as much backing up as First Departure, I guess.
Radiant's top tower is under
Yeah, and Polozin is starting to get some kills and assists. He was involved in that kind of extended skirmish there. He's getting back in the game a little bit. Still struggling, but he's not doing as poorly as he once was. And with this advantage, really, that's going the way of Mirana at the moment, it's not looking too bad for First Departure, even with the rocky start they had.
Yeah, kind of weird for Mirana going for a Hand of Midas, though. Kind of indicates that she wants to go for more of the late game, in which case I feel like she's going to get outfarmed by Sharky, because Sharky is doing really well as well. He might still be behind on net worth, quite heavily actually, but he will be the better carry compared to Mirana late game. And towers will continue dropping.
You kind of expect that eventually Morphling is going to be pretty good at carrying, but Mirana's just going to start carrying earlier with this Midas pickup if
Dire's
she
bottom
can continue
tower
to
has
farm.
fallen.
And it's looking like Chivix is completely willing to do that at the moment. They're giving up some of these early towers, but I think that's to be expected with the Pugna.
As long as they don't give up too much. The question, of course, goes to like how much is too much? How much can they actually give up before they have to start fighting? Well, they do force Orange back. They might be able to get a kill here in the middle lane. Nope. Invoker goes Invis and gets himself out. No detection coming off from anybody on the mid lane right now. Oh, Yamate, is he gonna blast? Nope. Figured he might, because he was slowed, realizing that someone was close by. Nice, still a counter word for Orange. Still get that ward in the end, but now nobody has vision. If we can have vision, nobody can. Do you think Winter's gonna go for Hand of Midas?
That's pretty surprising, but maybe that's what you need to do nowadays to make Darkseer viable, because he's definitely struggling.
Yeah. Orange is actually smoked up. They look to be putting an end to the reigning streak on the top lane of Chibix. See if they can. Hand of Midas now also for the Invoker. Well, that's a needed item. That was one of his core items. Needs to get ahead in levels, and so far that's the only way to do it. Chibix, you have a leap. Better use it. There we go. Still gets stunned. In comes Winter as well. The Crepify, that's one dead Mirana. Wall even being used for that. Slightly overkill, but... Well, we'll see if they can get the tower off the back of this. This is the last tier 1 tower standing. I guess it was a bit expected they were going to rotate that way because, you know,
Dire's top tower is
just
under
taking out all the
attack.
tier 1 towers and there was only one left standing. Would be a fair assumption to know where they were going to go, so... Maybe Chibix is slightly wrong position. No backup for him around there either, as they will just get the tower for free. And a kill.
Not really surprising that First Departure aren't defending these early towers. Their lineup isn't really that great right now. As they start getting some levels in their heroes, though, they can start putting some damage out in these fights. And particularly Invoker, his levels are going to be very key to being able to take any sort of team fight.
Right now they're losing ground faster and faster. I mean, they're now 4k gold behind on gold. The experience graph is slightly in favor of First Departure, but that's because they have not 5-manned as much as Orange. And perhaps they have more Hand of Midases, is that true? Yes, that is true. Both Mirana and Invoker have that, so they do get some extra experience on that side, but I'm kinda worried that they're giving too much away. Like, when would you expect them to fight? Are they allowed to lose their tier 2 towers, or will they have to fight beforehand?
I think giving away a couple tier 2 towers is fine. They can even give away all of them if they need to, but they really need level 6 up on the Earthshaker.
And they do.
Oh,
wow, he's still level 4 even.
Well, he wasn't in a lane at all. You gotta remember, he was doing his best to deny the experience from Morphling. He was killing Ancients eventually, but that doesn't really give you that much experience as an Earthshaker.
That's true. Yeah, he is really needing levels. Windranger is level 8, by the way. He's doing very decent. I mean, she's the same level as the safe laner of Orange. Doesn't really have that much farm to her name. Might be going for a 4-staff soon still, but nonetheless, doing quite decent. However, I mean, Pugna and Darkseer and Morphling are doing really well on the net worth for Orange, while it's only really Mirana and Invoker that can keep up with that. And that's slightly worrying, but First Departure is seemingly making their move right now in the top lane. They really want to take down a tower. That would be, of course, their way of getting back on the gold graph, getting some extra core items up. We'll see if Orange will try to counter this. They at least put down the acid spray and the fortification. They are having the Pugna as well as the Crystal Maiden making their way over, and with First Departure having to wait for the creep wave, they might be there in time to take a fight.
They're just kind of all walking. The glyph was enough time for them to be able to get in position. They can go for this fight. Darkseer ported to the mid lane. I don't really know why Winter did that.
Well, he wasn't needed top anymore. Just the Pugna ward and the blast were enough. They don't want to fight. That's First Departure backs off. That means a 5-man rotation for nothing. Quite a shame, to be honest. They do rotate Windrunner back towards the bottom lane, blows them back into the middle lane. That means that everybody's back where they should be, but apart from Orange, because they actually rotate into the dire jungle and might be trying to make the life of Chibix and Kaya and Lobby difficult. And actually the ping comes out, they realize they're there, they have got that ward.
Yep, just trying to stay alive at the moment. Don't get caught out is really what First Departure need to do. Try and survive long enough to get to the point where their heroes have the levels, they can start trying to actually take these team fights. Because the more towers you give up, the harder it's going to really be to come back in the end. Yamata's got that double damager in the top lane. They might actually be able to defend this tower for once, though.
Yeah, there's an arrow that did not hit. They already placed a sentry ward in case they were going to go for the Moonlight Shadow to initiate in. Orange, they want to maybe bait that out, but don't get anything out of it. So in the end, First Departure defends their tower, and that's good. And everybody of Orange doesn't want to rotate for nothing right now.
Look at these two sentry wards in the jungle, just out of range of one another.
Yeah.
Is under attack.
Oh, Sun Strikes. Doesn't hit. Level 9 for the Pugna at the moment, who is quite far behind on where I think he should be. I mean, Invoker, of course, has a Hand of Midas, and he was behind, but I'm actually more talking about Mirana. Mirana is level 11. And she wasn't even on a solo lane. She was helped by the Visage. She is level 11 and highest level in the game. Jivix is doing really nice. The only downside is that it's a Mirana, so it's not going to outfarm Sharky. So at some point, it is First Departure that have to make the first move, especially since Morphling almost has his Lincolns ready. Wow, and that Starstorm really doesn't do anything to Sharky here.
Stop you.
I think they're not really super concerned about Yamata's levels on this Pugna. He's already got the maxed out Nether Blast, and that's really all they need for the pushing. He can create the pressure on the opposite side of the map. You notice they've spent a lot of time in the top lane, and that leaves Sharky just completely open in the bottom lane because First Departure have to keep these towers alive unless they want to just, you know, take a bunch of incidental damage on their tier 3s, and ends up getting really hard for them quickly with that Pugna up on the other side. And that just ignores Morphling now. He's able to get farm. He had a really, really slow start, but you're right, he's getting close to having that Lincoln still only like 1,300 gold at this point.
Yeah. Not even, I believe. Well, yeah. We have got Jivix close to his Lincolns as well, though, going for the same kind of build here. And I mean, just now First Departure got forced towards the top lane by 3 or 4 heroes of Orange, while Starkey was still free farming. That's something they have to be careful about. That they don't get to be forced away from Sharky, just so that Sharky can free farm while not doing anything in return. So First Departure, I feel like they really should start forcing something out. I just don't know how they're gonna get it, how they're gonna be trying to do that. I mean, I'm thinking about landing some brilliant arrows, it's always nice. Earthshaker's now level 6, so that's gonna be a good one for them to have. But initiation wise, they have to get those skill shots happening. They have to get the arrows or the shackles. And they're not, oh, no, they're not getting that one.
Yeah, that was the thing I mentioned during the draft. They don't have the setup, really, that they did last game for these arrows. I guess it comes down to Earthshaker, maybe landing a Fissure or something. They don't have a ton of long-range stuns. There's no Blink Alchemist on their side this time to try and set up those arrows. And just fishing for arrows, that's never really what you want to be relying on as the game goes on. You want to set things up.
Yeah, you don't want to be relying on luck. That's just not good. In the meantime, they also haven't been able to take down any tier 1 towers out just yet. So First Departure, in terms of gold, I mean, experience is very even. We see the kills being at 4 to 5, so no surprise there. It's actually sitting at 0 line. But gold-wise, Orange is still so far ahead, and most of that comes from the towers. I mean, there is 3 towers down on the side of First Departure as the arrow. Oh, it will hit! And that's a Sunstrike. Perhaps he'll be able to deny himself. Nope, Sunstrike will get the kill. And I always find that nice. If Invoker gets a kill like that, that means he also gets the experience from across the map. That was a change at some point previous year, I thought. I really like that. That means that also Invoker gets some extra levels, because he really needs that. He is still not where he should be.
Yeah, he's up to level 11, which is pretty much tied with Pugna, and that's decent considering he died like 3 times to start off the game. And now he's sitting at 3 and 3, so yeah, things are looking okay for Pelozin in this middle lane.
There was an illusion of the Crystal Maiden from Sharky, and the illusion got shackled with Sharky, and then the Sunstrike happened on the illusion. That's just, you know, a shame. But Orange is actually making their way bottom. They've got 4 here. The only one that they're missing is the Alchemist, who's still on the top lane. Yamate actually placing a nice place ward. And they can't actually do anything against that unless they send the Familiars. But Familiars have to hit that thing like 12 times, I believe. So that's quite bad.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
All their damage gone.
Radiant structures are fortified.
In the meantime, middle lane get some
Dire's bottom
pressure from the Invoker.
Radiant's middle tower
They will
is
lose their
under
tier
attack.
1, tier 2 though. They'll lose their tier 2 bottom. Apparently they're not too sad about giving that up for tier 1 middle, but if they're actually gonna get that is another question, because right now Pelozon, he's not pushing fast enough. And there might actually be people coming in.
Invoker's really not the greatest pusher. He can summon those Forge Spirits and do some damage, but it does take a while, and he just is able to do some damage to tier 1. I think this pretty much continues with the strategy that First Departure are deploying, though. They're willing to sacrifice these outer towers, if necessary, just to buy as much time as possible. They must be really confident in their mid-game, because they're going to have a big advantage to fight back through.
Did you remember what I said about support Alchemist? In the previous game?
Midas? Picking up Midas?
Yes! Midas. I like this. I really do. He has to use it actually though, come on. I mean, he really
You might
want
want to wait to go in the jungle to get the experience.
Does. Apparently he does. Well, good on him. Shibix has it Lincolns, but still not really any damage items. We've got also... Well... I figured the Lincolns would be up on Morphling at the moment.
Smoked up in the top lane.
Ooh, they go for the Pugna Starstorm Shackle. They will be able to get him down. Nicely done. That's an important kill to get. Perhaps they can also get themselves a Crystal Maiden. Can't catch up with her though. That's something that you don't see every day. But Alchemist will also be able to run away. But maybe, finally, can they get themselves a tower? Please? Yes. First tower on the side of Orange at 19 minutes and 20 minutes in. Dies. Tier 1 top. The Sharky already bashes on the tier 3 bottom. And he has his Lincolns ready. The courier was able to bring it towards him. Bit of an awkward Moonlight Shadow, guess to back off. Although Chivix looks to be making an initiation with that. I don't think he can though. I don't think he can take down his level. Okay, maybe he can. Maybe he can. No, he can't. No, he can't. That's a frostbite on a creep. That happened. Alchemist will end up stunning himself.
At least it was only frostbite.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Well, I like the idea, but he can't really... No, it's too close towards the tier 2 tower. Too many people around there. So First Departure, I mean... This is probably the least kill-heavy game that we've had for this series today. They're playing so careful. I mean, the difference is between having a... Whoa! Chivix! Leap! Or run. Or... Careful. Or something. But the difference between like, this prize pool is so top-heavy is what I want to say. Like, number 1, 10,000 Singaporean dollars. And otherwise you go to the max 3rd place, which is going to be 2,000. That's a big difference. So they really play careful. I don't blame them for it. Might be slightly passive Dota because of it, but understandable passive Dota. And it fits. Well, I just said passive Dota and this lobby comes and echo slams a couple of creeps that happened. He has a blink dagger, he just wanted to show it off, I guess. His fissure missed everybody as well.
Yeah, it's really weird. He missed the Echo Slam and then he missed the fissure. And
yeah.
It just looked really, really sad for Lovey, but...
Like, look at me, Mom! I have a blink dagger! Look what I can do. Oh, Crystal Main, what you doing there, buddy? You're dead. Sunstrike misses. As Winter killed off as well. Orange, you're now in the wrong place, wrong time. Perhaps they can get themselves Yamate though, and actually Visage still getting stunned up. The ward from the Pugna is already gone. They look for the Alchemist, the arrow will whiff, but Alchemist looks to be in trouble, looks to be dead as well. That's 3 for 0. Well, I would say that was, you know, a tactical Echo Slam whiff, as Pugna still gonna manage to TP himself out. Tactical Echo Slam. Yep.
Hey guys, Echo Slam's on cooldown. You can teamfight us now.
Yep.
And then they end up winning the teamfight anyway. I guess that's not what I would define as tactical, but maybe it was intentional.
Yeah, it could be making the enemy play a bit more, you know, careless. It could be. Well, it worked out. They also had the ward of Pugna already down, which made a big difference, of course. Allowed them actually to fight, and then Crystal Maiden caught out of position in the woods. And, you know, nobody really committing. And, of course, I mean, Sharky has not been involved in any of the kills. He hasn't died yet. He's just been farming. And he is not even ahead on net worth. Like, he is 4th highest. And he might actually be going down right now. The Fisher comes out. The Shackle didn't latch in. Comes Lobby with the Stomp out. Morphling already gone to his morph illusion. Morphed into his illusion. Well, that was the most action that Sharky had this game.
Yeah, that top fight, he just kind of stood around and was like, do I want to fight? Do I not want to fight?
And then
no,
like,
I want to
no,
run.
my teammate's already dead.
Yeah, so he just left, and this one he actually fights a little bit, and then he's like, "Oh right, I forgot I can just press R and leave."
Yep.
Good
Dodged.
old Morphling.
Good old Morphling, yep. Well, we'll see if he can still be the good old Morphling in terms of carry potential, because I was kind of expecting him to have more items at this point. I mean, you know, you're going for Morphling, and apparently you're not going to go for Hand of Midas, so... would you say that he should have gone for Hand of Midas? I kind of think that he should have, because, you know, he's not going to fight anyway, so why not?
I mean, the argument could definitely be made for Hand of Midas. It's if you're going for it on heroes like Darkseer and Alchemist, it's probably right to go for it on your carry Morphling as well. But I think you really wanted to have them Lincolns to be as survivable as possible.
Oh, they
as long
really
as he
still
stays
want
alive, he'll
Sharky.
get farm.
Look at this. Moonlight Shadow into Sharky. Echo Slam! This one hit! So that's on that Morphling. Well, nicely done. Finally they get him. And they also have gotten the tier 1 mid in the meantime. That was a mid or feet, Peloson's job. Able to get that at some point. And they also will get the tier 1 bottom out of this one. And with that, wait a second, Alchemist, why are you here? Yeah, that you know, yeah. So, they get the tier 1 tower, and with that, they're only 1 tower behind. And with that, the gold graph is actually back to 0. That's the graph that I wanted to show. And I think actually slightly in favor of first departure after this tower, with the experience graph going the way of first departure, of course, because of the fight.
Yeah, things are looking good for first departure. This is really their time to shine with this kind of lineup, and they've done a pretty decent job of keeping Morphling from getting out of control. They denied him early with the Earthshaker pick and the pulling of the Ancients. They got that kill on him just now, and they gave up a lot of towers early, but now first departure is slowly taking control of the map, strangling Morphling for areas to farm. If they can keep that up, they're in a pretty good position.
Yep. Tier tower on the seats, the fortification forced out. I do like the pickup of the BKB on the Pug now, because it kind of blocks out all kinds of... there's nothing that anybody can do against him anymore, basically. The physical damage, it's there in the form of the Marana, but not as much as you maybe wanted to have. The arrows still hit. You have to actually turn on your BKB if you want... Yeah, okay. Nice kill. I actually think he could have gotten away if he popped the BKB first. The Starstorm was the one that killed him.
I think it would have been probably close, and maybe he just really didn't want to waste the charge.
The 10 seconds, yeah. I guess so. I'll forgive him for this time. But yeah, I mean, the physical damage mostly comes
he had a
from
haste rune bottled. If he pops the BKB, he almost certainly gets away. I didn't even notice the haste rune.
Oh, and it actually pops while he's dead, so he won't have it at all. Well, that happened. Maybe he forgot that he had the BKB. I do that all the time if I buy items and I forget that I have them until I, you know, die first because I forgot. But then again, that's why I'm not a professional player.
Call outs on Yamata.
Yeah. No. He's a good player. Yes, he's actually second highest on net worth. He's doing really well. I was also hoping that he would maybe have an Aghanims soonish, but opting to go for the BKB first. I understand that Aghanims would be nice as well, though, because his life draining just does a lot more. The Crepify, well, yeah. Well, we'll see. It is a smoke up for Orange, anyways. They want to maybe either fight for Roshan or just fight for tier 2 towers. I mean, he did get the tower top. Yamate did get that one. So in the end, they are still 1 tower behind. Oh, in comes arrows. They hit on Winter. Nice shackle. Echoes land lobby. Makes it happen. Doesn't have a Fisher anymore, but at least it is already 2 down for Orange. As first departure get backed away. They have to be careful though. Soul Assumption still comes in for Sharky. He's finally in a fight. He's looking to make a difference here. He does have a weave form, but he doesn't hit mid on feet. Pelozon. Ooh, that ward. That was one dead. Earthshaker, invisible, still a weave form for Sharky. Is he looking for something? Can they actually fight him? Perhaps they can. They might be able to, but Winter's still there with that brilliant vacuum, and he will get picked up for it. There's only 1 hero left alive, and then Shackle hits! Sharky is gonna get picked up. That is a brilliant fight from first departure. Orange played it so perfectly. I really thought that he could turn it around, but then everybody died. This is correct. That was their fight.
So good for first departure, and poor Earthshaker with that fissure hit the Necrobook minion when he went to stun Morphling.
Ah!
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna stun you, Morphling, and then the Necro Book melee minion was there and it just killed him.
Oh god,
It had to be
actually...
so sad, but that stun helped keep Sharky there long enough that they were able to end up picking him off, so definitely a valiant effort coming out from him, and a huge team fight for First Departure. They're
Oh,
taking a
yes.
giant advantage now.
I
With
really
that tier
thought
2
that...
mid, and now they're gonna go for Roshan, and they should be able to just take it. It's gonna be real good for them.
Yeah, I really thought that Orange had a better go at it. I mean, they had a brilliant wall there, but... Yeah. Not able to get it together. I really also thought that perhaps this was the first time the Morphling would like shine and stuff. He's still going for the
Sun has fallen to the dark.
for the shotgun, by the way, which might be a bit too late at this point. It's 28
He's
minutes
not even
in.
really close.
No, he needs the full Eagle song. Well, yeah, aboutish. Minus 1k gold. But now with an Aegis up on First Departure, I have good faith that they might be able to take this game. I mean the kill score looks pretty convincing for them anyway. But this game isn't very kill heavy regardless, and it's more about positioning than anything else. Like just like previous game, by the way. And First Departure, they just played that fight so perfectly, running in and out whenever they needed to, and then coming back. And they had, of course, the edge of being able to walk high ground and then walking back later on after they weren't focused anymore. Yeah.
And Lubby really made up for the earlier kind of complete airball on the Echo Slam, because
Yeah.
he had an amazing Echo Slam in
He
that
did.
fight. It really kind of just completely turned the tide, because there was so much damage that went out. Orange wasn't able to keep up with the initiation. The supports basically just got destroyed.
Yeah, a brilliant shackle coming out as well, also from Hana. Able to pick up the first two as Sunstrike will not hit on Yamate. Nice attempt. 1600 gold up on Hana, who has a force staff and a mechanism. Doing pretty good, and looks like First Departure indeed with the rotations that they're making right now. They're feeling a lot more comfortable in where they are in this game. Now also a deadless for Chibix. We're gonna see them rotate perhaps bottom. I mean, they have an Aegis. Perhaps they want to try and put it to use and go for well, go for a fight, but they will be able to, they will be either forcing the rest of Orange back, or they will have to defend this, and it looks like they choose the latter. Oh, can they actually find someone? Nope. Let's teleport out from Alchemist. I like Alchemist with Blink Dagger. Chibik's still coming in though. They won't be in time. TP's out everywhere. Well, nice attempt. A lot of wasted time on the side of First Departure, so Orange's rotation was successful.
Yeah, Orange went for the push. Some damage to the tier 3 tower. I guess it forced First Departure back, but they could have lost a lot if First Departure just didn't blink.
Yeah.
And went for the push. But maybe it's good for Orange in the way this game is standing right now, so maybe they wouldn't have backed off.
Yeah, well, you have by the way, it sounds like you're lagging slightly. So perhaps you have to reconnect to see if it fixes it. Looks like Chibix is out for some blood. Want to try maybe backstab? Sharky has got a illusion up. Might be enough for him to get away from this fight, but they are gonna just try and go for it. Arrow coming in from the side. Oh, we'll hit up on Winter. No control. No vac wall. That's gonna be Winter already dead. In comes Pugna. Well, Pugna disconnected, I think. That was a disconnected Pugna. That has to be. He's just stood still there. Chibix tries to do what he can as the Fisher will burn out Crystal Maiden. Sharky forced back. And I really think that Pugna was just standing still. Did you see that?
Yeah, maybe it was just a leg spike, or maybe he had given up. I don't know, but he just disconnected. Yeah, like he would have by now if it had actually been.
Yeah, I think so too. But he's just maybe he was like, I'm gonna assume that they're on a voice communication thing and not typing to each other. Like that would be an excuse if you were typing. That's not an excuse, but it would be a very bad excuse. But at least it would be something that you would be doing. He was just standing still, not moving. He had his BKB turned on and then just died. The tier 3 tower will die as well. Tornadoes being sent out to stop Sharky from doing anything, as Lincoln's already popped Crystal Maiden alive again, but the only thing that she can do is die, I guess. As Sharky will get fissured, hexed, and killed. That is the GG. There's no way that Orange can come back from this, and they know that too. They tap out. It was First Departure that will take the best of 3 finals, semi-finals rather. And therefore, First Departure will be going up against Mineski on Sunday to fight for the 10,000 Singaporean dollars, while Orange will be seeing them tomorrow again up against Myth Trust to see who gets the $2,000 for third place and who gets nothing for fourth place.
Bottom tower is
Outplayed or outpicked?
I think mostly outplayed in this game. First Departures looked real good. And maybe a little outpicked. It was really smart of them to pick up that Earthshaker to deny the experience
Yeah.
and gold from that Morphling early. There was so much writing on Morphling because the push, it wasn't a full push lineup from Orange. They only really had the Pugna that was good at it. And they couldn't really just like blitz down towers, not with a Morphling on their team.
Would you have like if they because Gyrocopter was still in the pool when they picked up the Morphling? Do you think that would have been a better one?
I mean, it could have worked out, but a lot of these teams don't really favor the Morphling, I think, that much. I guess Orange ran it the first game, though, so maybe.
The Gyro, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised to see Morphling. I'm not sure what their thought process was, thinking that was the best pick here. I would pretty much never say that, but I'm not a fan ever since TI2, obviously.
Yeah. I actually am now only seeing that Invoker is still half of the deaths of his team.
Huh.
Poor Pelozon. But then again, Windranger never died. But yeah, very convincing showing for First Departure. And do you have any shoutouts or plugins before we tune out?
No, nothing in particular. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can catch me at KanazDota or on Twitch/Kanazta.
Yeah, and well, there's no more games for the Rapture Gaming League, but we will have Starladder in 50 minutes from now, and I'm actually just gonna leave my stream on and see if we can gather viewers or something. And we'll be back here. Our games for Starladder will be starting off with Virtus Pro taking on Flipside, and then we're gonna have 3 games with Aspera. First up against NextKZ, then up against Power Rangers, then up against SSD, and last is a game between Power Rangers and the Retry, which is indeed PGG's team. So yeah, 5 best of ones coming up to you in about 50 minutes. So I'm gonna have some food, gather my strength to cast that, and were you gonna join me for that one too?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. Well, then we see you back here as well in 50 minutes time. So tune in for Starladder in 50 minutes. And of course, if you can't, then come back tomorrow at 1 p.m. CET time for more Rapture Gaming League with Orange versus Myth Trust.